Why do some people get stuck in the same problems for years, while others seem to move forward despite the difficulties? Why do some relationships slowly destroy us? Why do we find it so hard to walk away from situations that make us unhappy? And most importantly, why are we afraid to change, even when we know it's the right decision? Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most influential philosophers in history, dedicated much of his life to understanding human suffering, inner strength, and personal transformation. Today, we're going to explore 6 powerful life lessons inspired by his philosophy. The third one could change the way you see relationships, and the last one could be exactly what you need to take back control of your life. So stay tuned until the end. Let's begin. Lesson 1. What destroys you is not always your enemy. Nietzsche wrote a famous quote, "What doesn't kill me makes me stronger." But this quote is often misunderstood. Many people think it simply means enduring pain. It doesn't. The real lesson is that every hardship contains an opportunity for growth. Think about your biggest wounds: a betrayal, a breakup, a financial loss, a career failure. At the time, these events seem like catastrophes. But in hindsight, how many times have you realized they made you wiser, more cautious, and stronger? Pain is not merely something to survive. It can become the place where character is tested and transformed. Life doesn't always break us. Sometimes it shapes us. The strongest people aren't always those who have avoided hardship. They are the ones who have learned to transform it into strength. The question is simple: are you enduring your pain or using it to grow? Lesson 2. Why you should simply walk away. This is probably the hardest idea to accept. Some situations aren't worth fixing. Some people don't deserve another chance. Some relationships are already over long before the official breakup. Yet many continue to stay out of fear, out of habit, or out of attachment because they hope things will change. One idea inspired by Nietzsche's philosophy is that real strength sometimes means walking away from what prevents your growth. If an environment is destroying your inner peace, get out. If a relationship is draining your energy, cut ties. If a job is slowly killing your dreams, move on. Staying in a toxic situation doesn't prove your loyalty. Sometimes it simply proves your fear. Understand this. You don't have to stay where you're no longer respected. You don't have to explain your departure to everyone. Sometimes the best response is simply to walk away quietly, with dignity, and for good. Lesson 3. People will treat you according to what you tolerate. Many people wonder, why do others take advantage of me? Why don't they respect me? Why do they keep hurting me? From a Nietzschean perspective, the answer might be, because you've shown them what you're willing to tolerate. It may sound harsh, but it's often true. Every time you accept disrespect without reacting, every time you abandon your boundaries to please others, and every time you sacrifice your dignity to be accepted, you send a message. The message is, I'm willing to accept this. Boundaries don't push away good people, they push away bad ones. Respect always begins with the respect you have for yourself. Lesson 4. Solitude is not your enemy. We live in a world where everyone is constantly seeking attention, notifications, messages, approvals, and likes. But Nietzsche deeply valued solitude. Why? Because it is in silence that we discover who we truly are. Most people are afraid of being alone because being alone forces them to confront themselves, their fears, their regrets, and their truths. Yet the greatest transformations often arise during periods of solitude. It is there that ideas emerge. It is there that healing begins. It is there that self-confidence is built. If you cannot stand your own company, how can you expect others to enjoy yours? Solitude is not a punishment. It is mental training. Lesson 5. Stop seeking others' approval. Imagine living your whole life according to other people's expectations, your parents, your friends, your colleagues, society, and then reaching the end of your life and realizing you never truly lived for yourself. This is precisely what Nietzsche denounced. Many people make decisions based on how others see them. They choose a career to impress others. They stay in a relationship to avoid criticism. They give up on their dreams to be accepted. But here's a difficult truth. No matter what you do, some people will always criticize you. So why sacrifice your happiness to please people who will never be satisfied? Freedom begins when you stop asking permission to be yourself. Finally, we arrive at the culmination of his philosophy. Lesson 6. Become the person you are meant to be. Of all Nietzsche's ideas, this is perhaps the most powerful. He said, become who you are. It sounds simple, but it's one of life's greatest challenges because most people live according to identities that aren't their own. They wear masks. They play roles. They follow paths chosen by others. But deep down, they know they aren't living their true lives. Becoming yourself takes courage. The courage to change. The courage to disappoint some people. The courage to leave behind what is familiar, and the courage to start over. Your life will change the day you stop trying to be what others expect of you and finally begin to become who you truly are. If you take away only one thing from this video, let it be this. Your biggest problem might not be what's happening to you. Sometimes your biggest problem is what you keep accepting. Nietzsche reminds us that growth requires courage. The courage to suffer, the courage to change, the courage to let go. And above all, the courage to be yourself. Now tell me in the comments, which lesson challenged you the most today? Lesson number 2, why you simply have to walk away, or lesson number 6, become who you were meant to be. If you found this video valuable, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to discover more life lessons, personal development, and human psychology. And remember, sometimes the scariest decision is precisely the one that will set you free. See you soon.